I'm Fabrice Grinda. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've created many internet startups over the last 15 years. The last of which was a company called OLX, which is like a big free classified site in the emerging markets, especially in India and Brazil and Pakistan and Portugal and Africa and Latin America. It has over 150 million uniques. I recently sold that, and at night I've been an angel investor, and I've invested in 120 startups. You know, we didn't set to conquer the emerging markets. We opened in 96 countries in 51 languages. We tried everywhere a little bit, and in many countries it didn't work at all, like the US or France or most of Western Europe. It worked really, really well in Pakistan and Portugal, and it worked okay or pretty well in Brazil and India. We're like, okay, let's focus on Brazil and India because these are big markets that can be very valuable. And so it's basically trial and error. You know, that when you're an entrepreneur, you just throw things on the wall and you see what sticks. And Brazil and India stuck. I think it's actually really good for them. It's very good to hone your skills and have the ability to present your startup in an elevator pitch very rapidly. It gives them visibility on a public stage. They're going to get a lot of users. Investors are going to notice them, and a lot of tweet and social network activity. And potentially they might win some money. In some cases, it's actual dollars. In some cases, it's media dollars. And so I think it makes a lot, to the extent you're one of the few that gets to be on stage, etc. I think it makes a lot of sense. It depends how you define the entrepreneurship bubble, but clearly it makes sense. It makes sense that there are more entrepreneurs today than before. It's easier today to create a startup than it's ever been. It's much cheaper, and because there's a global crisis that's been going on, the opportunity cost of being an entrepreneur is lower. So I don't think entrepreneurship itself is a bubble now. Are there valuations that are high in late-stage companies like Snapchat, et cetera? Absolutely. Whether it's a bubble, I'm not so sure. I mean, if you look at the multiples on the publicly traded companies, if you look at the type of companies that are going public, they're real companies with real users, real revenues and profits in the case of companies like Facebook. So I don't think we're at a bubble stage. It's definitely frothy at a few places of the ecosystem. If you want to be an entrepreneur, the only thing that matters, frankly, is grit, tenacity, and passion. Like, you need to keep trying, throw stuff on the wall. If people say no, just ask someone else. Ask again. I mean, just never give up. And never giving up is what separates, the wheat from the chaff, basically.